Morning. So this is my first Facebook Live on my page, so it's quite exciting. Um, I'm gonna just chat for a minute and see if anyone joins me live. Hopefully they will. I think Helen's somewhere. Hopefully she can join in. I know she's trying to. So I just wanted to do something live and free and a little bit more movement than what I've been doing with my Zoom classes, which tend to be restorative, and I've got the pregnancy class. So this is just kind of how I like to move my body and how I like to feel really with my yoga practice. So let's see who's here. Okay, so what I've been thinking about this kind of in preparation for this class is language. And a lot of the language that we're hearing at the moment, if you are listening to the news or reading the news, is quite, well, it's obviously negative, but things like the wording, like isolation, restriction, and lockdown, they're quite strong words, and they are going to be having an effect on our nervous system, especially if we keep hearing them, they keep repeating in our minds, and if we're also dwelling on it and thinking about it. And we can't help but have a reaction to the language that we hear. So I really wanted to see if we could just notice that, notice perhaps how the language that we're hearing a lot is affecting us, and maybe change it and try something else. So it's about language, but it's about our self-talk and the kind of information that we're giving our nervous system and our bodies. Okay, so if everyone's ready, we're going to come and stand on our mat. Hi, Helen. Hi, other Helen. Yay, you got on. Lovely. Okay, right, so just come and stand at the top of your mat. I'm going to stand in the middle of mine so that you can see me. And let's take our feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, and just let the toes turn to a comfortable angle. So you don't have to be dead parallel at the moment. And we're going to bring our right hand onto our heart center and our left hand onto our belly. And just take a moment to really arrive here on our mats, in this place, whatever space you're in. Maybe letting the eyes close if that's comfortable for you. And I just want to offer you a few different words other than these words we keep hearing. So if you've just joined us, I've just been talking about hearing the words lockdown, isolation, restriction, and hearing them over and over again, and how that can affect our nervous system, kind of almost creating that feeling within us. So instead, I want you to see, I'm going to offer you 3 words. So I'm going to offer you expansion, I'm going to offer you freedom, and I'm going to offer you joy. So expansion, freedom, and joy. So you can choose all of those or one of those to focus on. And just see if you can allow those words or similar words to reverberate silently within you, like a mantra. So freedom, expansion, and joy. And as you let that happen, let's start to deepen the breath. So finding that the breath can move into the belly where the bottom hand is resting, and then up into the heart space, into the top hand. As you take a nice deep long breath in, and as you breathe out, just letting both those places settle and return back to your center. So deepening the inhale, lengthening the exhale, sitting with those words. So freedom, expansion, and joy. And allowing the feeling of those words to start to really sink into your body. Noticing how it feels as you repeat those words. Maybe starting to notice some softness in the shoulders and around the face. Maybe letting the corners of the mouth turn up into a gentle smile. Freedom, expansion, and joy. And then we'll just allow the hands to come down to the sides. We've got our feet about hip distance or a little wider, and a little softness in the knees. So I just want you to take a moment to connect down through your feet into your mat. So have a little wriggle about, spread the toes, bend the knees, feel the weight of the body settling down here, and just start to shift the weight. So we're going to shift from foot to foot. Just allowing that transfer of weight, really noticing the connection with the soles of the feet and the ground, the mat. Just taking your time, and then start to allow that sway to just move into the upper body as well. So you're just allowing maybe the rib cage, the shoulder to kind of move towards the direction that you're going in. And as you do this, I want you to think the word freedom. So just allowing a sense of moving in a way that feels free, that feels easy, and at your pace. So you can go fast or slow, whatever works. Breathing here. Just let the head follow, let the neck be loose, let the hands and the arms kind of go where they want. Nice soft knees, transferring the weight. Lovely. I can imagine, I can't see you all, but I can imagine you all doing this with a smile on your face and a feeling of freedom in your body. So just taking that now slowly back into the centre. So we're just going to come back to swaying foot to foot. And then we're going to slowly find that midpoint, that centre here, right in the middle. Spreading the toes, spreading backwards through the heels. So we're really connected into the ground through the feet. Lengthening up through the crown of the head. We're going to start to reach the arms out and up. So on an inhale, start to circle the arms, and I really want you to find some space across the chest and really reach out as you circle up through the arms. As you exhale, turn the hands away and let that circle come back down to the sides. So inhaling, really reach. Think of the word expansion. As you open the heart, open the arms wide. And then exhale back down. So almost as if you're tracing giant wings that are sprouting from your back, just circling up, finding the edges of those wings. I think I got that image from Laura Green. So finding that image in your mind of these beautiful, wide open wings. Freedom and expansion through the arms, through the chest, up through the crown of the head with your breath. Really nice long deep inhale, full exhale. And then that third word, joy, just letting that smile come to your face. As you breathe, as you move here. Good. We'll take one more breath in. And one more breath all the way out. And if you're not at the top of your mat, you're going to come now to stand at the top of your mat. So just coming all the way up to the top of your mat. Keeping that nice broad stance, so going a little wider than hip distance. Letting the toes turn out if they need to. And we're just going to roll the shoulders up to the ears. And as we roll them back, allow the palms to turn forward. So you're getting that feeling of expansion across the chest. So inhale up. As you roll them back, feeling the arm bones roll open and the palms turn forwards. Inhale, rolling up. And exhale, rotating, opening the chest. Good. As you inhale this time, circling the arms once more, all the way up overhead. As you exhale, allow the hands to come down through the centre, bend the knees, lead with the heart as you come down into a forward fold. So really allowing the heart to melt down. So we're coming into a forward fold. And just bending those knees, softening here, letting the head go. And come back into that swaying motion. So you're going side to side, just gently through the feet, letting the body follow in a way that feels really fluid, really easy. And I'm just allowing my fingertips to trail along the floor. So just side to side. You could hold the opposite elbow if that feels better in your body. So whatever feels good for you. I'm just going to shift my camera back a tiny bit so that I can fit myself onto my mat. Okay, so swaying side to side with your breath, letting your head go, letting it follow along, that feeling of freedom in the spine, in the head. Really lovely fluid movement. Then slowing that back down, bringing it back into the centre. Good. Bending those knees a little bit more. We're going to come up halfway, but really, really fluid. So as we inhale, I want you to think about the back of the chest leading up. Bring those shoulders up and back. Lift the heart and the gaze forwards. And as you exhale, keep that going. I want you to melt the chest down towards the mat. And then the head relaxes. So you're bobbing up and down, inhaling up. You're just finding that top point. Doesn't matter how high your hands come. Exhaling to melt down. Letting the head go. Inhaling up. Expansion through the chest, through the front of the throat. Exhaling down. One more time. Inhale. Freedom in your spine as you exhale down. Good. Hands to the mat. You're going to walk those feet slowly back into downward dog. So just taking them all the way back. Lovely. About hip distance wide, whatever works in your body. Really spreading through the fingers, and let's connect down through the hands and feet into the mat. So spread the toes as well. Feel the finger pads pressing into the mat. Feel the toe pads pressing into the mat. And come back to that swaying motion. So a little softness in the knees. Let the hips go from side to side. With your breath. So it's like you're padding out the feet, but you've got a little bit more movement side to side. Just let the head go. Maybe the head wants to turn a little bit as you move. And there's no kind of right and wrong to this. So just moving in a way that feels nice and freeing for your body. Good. And coming back into the centre, we're going to come into a little fluid dog movement. So we're going to lift up high onto the toes. Draw the lower belly in and hug the ribs into the chest as you uncurl forwards towards plank. And then we're going to bend the knees, send the hips back up and really, really high. And then start to lengthen back through the legs. So inhaling up, curling in through the body, really keeping that nice and curled as you unpeel to plank. Bend the knees, send the hips up and back, really lengthening the spine as you lower the heels. Inhale, rolling forward, opening the chest, bending those knees, sending the hips up and back, expanding through the back body. Inhale. And exhale back. Love how that one feels. Inhaling forwards now to plank. So lifting up, lower belly hugs in, rib cage hugs in. Push away through the hands, come forwards. Let the knees come down to the mat, untuck the toes. So we're going to let the pelvis slowly come forwards, soften the elbows and roll down through the front body. So just take your time, nice and gentle, all the way down to the mat. Bring the forehead down to the mat. So taking the arms now out to shoulder height. Actually, let's go a little bit further forward, so more like in line with your nose. And we're coming on to tented fingers. So really pressing all of the fingertips and the thumb tips down into the floor. I'll come back a bit. Okay, elbows are up towards the ceiling. And then leading with the back of the heart, you're going to inhale to come up. Unfurl through the upper body, lifting the gaze, just like we did in our halfway lift. Exhale to roll back down through the spine. Inhale, back of the heart leads us up. Press into those fingers, shoulders away from the ears. Open the front body, expand up through the crown. Exhale all the way down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Slide those hands back in. Fingertips in line with the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Inhale to come up into cobra and then keep moving back to the knees and then back up into downward facing dog. And again, just keeping that gentle movement here as you sway side to side or walk out the legs, whatever feels nice in your body. Let the head really go. Give the head a turn from side to side. And then that movement, that side to side movement, we're just going to take it into our walk forward towards our hands. So very gently, very slowly, walking the feet up towards the hands until you come into a nice position with the feet under the hips and let the whole body hang over the legs. Nice soft knees. Again, a gentle sway, foot to foot. Just letting the whole of the body move with this motion. So maybe just allowing those hips a little bit more freedom, trailing the fingertips along the floor, feeling some lengthening into the sides of the body. And then slowing it down back into the centre. Going to bend the knees and circle the arms out wide as you uncurl through the spine. Press the feet into the earth. Think expansion as you open up. Bring the palms to touch and then exhale. Bring those hands slowly back to the heart centre. Lovely. Let's do that again. We'll just take it a tiny bit faster. So we'll inhale to circle the arms overhead. Freedom, expansion, feeling joy in your movement here. Exhale to melt down over your legs. Lead with your heart as you come all the way down. Let everything go. Little movement through the feet, through the hips, side to side. Trailing those fingertips along the floor, almost as if you're trailing through some beautiful crystal clear water. Just watching the ripples radiating out from your fingertips. Back into the centre. Halfway lift. Think the word flow as you lift up. And then as you flow, fold, release back down. Inhale halfway. Just moving with that lovely fluidity in the spine, that freedom. One more time. Good. Lovely. Walking those feet back, so hands to the mat, back towards dog. And that little shifty sway feeling in dog. So side to side. Feeling lengthening in the sides of the waist. All the way down to the armpits maybe. Good. Coming into that fluid motion here through plank back to dog. So lifting up high on the toes. Coil in through the lower belly, through the rib cage as you come forwards. Expand through the chest. Bend the knees, send those hips away. Keep those knees really bent so you really are lengthening spine, and then start to straighten the legs. Inhale forwards. Exhale, press the sitting bones back. Really stretch that back. Exhale to heels to the ground. Inhale. Bending the knees. Exhale. Coming forwards as you inhale into plank, and you can come to kneeling plank or you can stay in full plank. We're going to unfurl ourselves down to the mat. So you can let the pelvis come down, which might be quite strong. So always come to the knees if you need to. And then roll down through the spine, all the way onto your front. Just slide back a bit, going out of shot. Hands out to the sides, find those tented fingers. Thumbs in line with the nose, elbows up, shoulders away from the ears. As you inhale, pressing into the fingertips, back of the chest lifts, and then lifting up through the heart, through the throat, through the crown. Exhale, all the way back down. Inhale, lifting up. Freedom, expansion and joy. Little smile on the face. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale all the way down. Hands sliding in, palms flat, tuck the toes. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale back into your dog. Little movement side to side. Okay, good. We're going to either stay in dog or you can come down to all fours. We're going to bring the weight into the left leg and start to slowly lift the right leg up into three-legged dog. So nice and slow as you take that leg up. Good. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the knee in towards the chest. So you can either step through from here, or you might need to bring that left knee to the mat and help it out a bit. But we're going to come into a lunge. So whatever works in your body, coming into a lunge. Okay, so nice and long, making sure that that knee and the ankle come into a line with one another. You can come onto your fingertips or flat hands, whatever works for you. And I really want you to lift up through the heart center and look forwards. So you get this feeling of opening the front body here, which can make the stretch quite deep. Breathe in. As you exhale, you're going to take the bottom back just a little way. You're going to keep the foot flat to the floor and then bend in that front knee. Inhale forwards and open across the front of the chest. Think about the shoulder blades coming towards one another. Exhale back. Inhale forwards. And you might start to peel the toes away from the floor and rock back onto the heel, if that feels okay in your body, as you move back. So we're just moving through these two places with our breath. Freeing up the hips, expanding through the heart. Good, coming forwards. Bringing that right hand on the inside. I'm going to toe heel the right foot wider. Left hand coming flat to the floor. Let the right toes turn out a little off the mat. And then bring your right hand onto the inside of that right knee. And you can come onto the outer edge of that right foot if it feels comfortable in your hip. If it's not very comfortable, don't go too deep. So just listen to your body. And then we're going to bring our right hand maybe to our heart space. If it's too much, leave it where it is. As you inhale, think about using that hand to rotate your heart space up towards the ceiling, the sky, maybe your gaze as well. And then we're going to take that hand and reach it out and up, slightly behind us, but opening across the chest. We're going to circle the top arm all the way back to the floor. And then bring it back up through that heart center. And as we come through heart center, rotate the chest. Inhale. And then circling overhead as you exhale. Inhale, freedom, opening, expanding into the movement. And exhale all the way over. Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale all the way over, hand to the floor. We're going to toe heel the right foot in closer, right hand on the outside of the right foot, tuck the back toes, and we're going to sweep that front foot all the way up and back behind us. So as we inhale, coming back into three-legged dog, There's not much room in my house. And then bending that knee and opening the hip, coming into this lovely stretch. It's one of my favourite stretches in yoga. Try and lift up the right knee a little higher, feeling that all the way through the hip. And breathing there. Maybe circling the foot. Good. And then we're going to square the hips and straighten the leg. Lower the foot to the floor. Inhale here. As you exhale, come back down to your knees. So let those knees lower down. Walking the hands in a little so they're under the shoulders. Take a couple of cat-cows here. So as you inhale, let the chest lift, let the tail lift. Feel that openness across the front of the body. And as you exhale, round the spine into cat. So tucking the chin in, pushing the ground away. Inhaling, lifting the heart. Letting the front body open. Exhaling, rounding. And one more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale back to neutral as you tuck your toes. And exhale back up into downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to take the left leg up and back. Do the whole thing on the other side. So that left leg sweeps up. Good. We're going to bring that knee into the chest. And we're going to step between the hands. Or you can place that right knee down and help it out. So just listening to your body. Coming into a nice long lunge, back knee to the mat. Keeping that front knee and a front ankle in a line if you can. Fingertips or flat hands as you lift the chest and look forwards. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to shift the hips back. So we're going to keep the foot flat for the first few. Inhale forwards, opening the chest, front body lifting. Exhaling back. Inhaling forwards and opening through the heart. Exhaling back. You might start to peel the toes up off the floor. Rock the weight back into the heel if that feels okay in your body. Good. Just using your breath. Moving in and out. Really opening up through those hips. Coming forwards, left hand on the inside, you're going to toe heel that left foot further out to the side, let the toes turn out a bit. Right hand to the mat and left hand to the knee as you turn towards that leg and start to allow that left leg to wing out if it's comfortable in your body. So coming onto the little toe side of your left foot. Same thing we did on the other side, so left hand to heart center, allow that to turn the chest upwards towards the ceiling. This bottom arm, you really want to press away through the bottom arm and don't sink into the shoulders. So push away, making some space there. Inhale to reach that arm up and open. Feel that expansion across the chest. Exhale, circle the arm back down towards the floor. Hand to heart center, inhale. Opening, reaching. Exhale to circle. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more. So really opening the heart, the chest, reaching back through the arm and circling. Good. Exhale. Walking that left foot back in. We're going to come back up into three-legged dog from here. So hands down, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Sweep that left leg all the way up and back. And bend the left knee, open the left hip, lift it up. Coming into that three-legged open hip pose. Breathing here. Straightening the leg, lowering the toes back down to the mat. Coming back into dog, take an inhale. Exhale to lower the knees down to the floor. Okay, so I'm just going to turn to face you. You stay where you are. And we're going to take a lovely thread the needle variation I learned from my lovely friend Rachel Hall. And I just love it so much, so I'm going to share it with you. It's not that complicated, I just have never done it like this before. So knees under hips. I'm going to take that right arm and we're going to inhale to reach up and open. So lifting through the heart, spreading the fingers, pressing the ground away through that bottom hand. As you exhale, coming in to thread the needle in a normal way. So back of the hand to the floor, stretch it along the mat and come down, side of the head to the mat, shoulder to the mat. And this left hand can just move so that it's in a good place to help press a little into the floor and rotate you into that twist. Breathing here. So those shoulders, we've just been doing quite a lot in dog, and you might feel it a bit in the shoulders. So this is a really nice way to release. Deep breaths. Then we're going to press into the left hand to come up and open. Really find that expansion across the chest. Now as we come back in, we're going to slide the back of the left hand towards that left, sorry, this is your right hand, towards the left knee. So we're coming in at an angle. So we're just skimming past that left knee as we come back down in to thread the needle. Again, that left hand you can move wherever it feels comfortable. And breathe. And again, pressing into the left hand. Inhale to come up and open. And this time we're going to come forward. So we're going to have the palm down, but we're going to graze the front of the left fingers and we come diagonally across. And I find that my head can just rest down on top of that left hand, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't quite. Getting a nice stretch all the way down that right side, into the ribs, into the waist. That feels really, really nice for me, really freeing. And pressing into the left hand once more, open. And exhale. Right hand back to the mat. Okay, let's take an inhale, lift the heart, lift the tail. And exhale to round into that lovely cat stretch, scooping the tail under, spreading the shoulder blades. Inhale. And I can really feel the difference between my two shoulders from doing that on one side to the other. Inhale back to centre. So we're taking the weight into the right hand, opening up through the left. Lovely deep breath in, really turning the heart, and then thread the needle, so straight through, reaching along the mat, coming down, shoulder, side of the head. And then just using that right hand to find a little bit more rotation if you can. Breathing into it. And then pressing into the right hand as you come up and open. Think expansion, freedom, spread your wings. As we come back in, we're going to graze the hand along the edge of that right knee. So coming back on the diagonal as we lie back down. That right hand to help. Just find a little rotation there, a little pressure, very gentle. And then pressing into the right hand one more time to come up. And we're coming forward, so the right hand, left hand, flat to the floor as you graze those fingers and come all the way down at diagonal. Really breathing into the shoulder, rib cage, side of the waist. And then coming all the way back up and open as you inhale. And exhale the hand down. We're going to turn back round. So we're going to tuck the toes underneath. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale back up into your downward facing dog. Just see how that feels now in the shoulders. It might be a shift having done that stretch. So we're going to come into a little warrior sequence. So inhaling the right leg up and back. I'm going to do my left so you can see me. And then exhaling to come forwards to step that foot in between the hands. You can obviously pop that back knee down, help it out. So coming into a nice long lunge. We're going to spin the back foot down to the floor. So heel comes to the floor, lining up the front heel with the arch of the back foot. Press down into the feet and inhale to come up and open into warrior two. Good. So I really want you to think about reaching out through both fingertips, sets of fingertips. shoulder blades working towards one another at the back. So nice deep breaths. We're going to see if we can move and flow here. So as we inhale, we're going to lean back, taking that top arm up, maybe lifting the gaze towards it. And then we're going to keep circling the top arm. So take it as far across as you can. As you come forwards, that top arm is going to come and rest on your thigh. And the back arm is going to take over. So you're going to circle down to the mat. Reach away from you as long as you can. And then as it comes up and over, let it bring you up into Warrior Two. And then back into Reverse Warrior. So really finding that lovely freedom in the spine as you circle the arms around. Now, if this is a little bit complicated, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, okay? So if the circling is going a little bit wrong for you, doesn't really matter. Just feeling in the body a sense of freedom, fluidity, a sense of expansion as you really move into your space. So thinking about tracing those fingertips through the space, taking up as much room as you can. Good. And one more time as we come up into Warrior Two. And then interlacing the hands at the back. We're going to roll the heart open and lift the hands a little bit up and away from the lower back. Turn towards your front leg, coming down on the inside of that front leg in Humble Warrior. So the back arms are going to lift up as high as is comfortable for you. Breathe here. It's quite strong, so you need a lot of breath. Lowering those hands towards the hips. Bring them forwards onto the floor, and then we're just going to walk them away from us at a diagonal. So maybe coming up onto tented fingers. Can you see me? I think you can. And let the head and the chest melt down. Nice deep breaths. Walking those hands back in, and we're going to turn to face the front leg. So walking the hands either side to frame the front foot and swivel the back foot so the heel lifts. And we're going to step back into three-legged dog. So sweeping the right leg all the way up and back. And then exhale it down to the floor. Again, we're going to come onto the other side. So Warrior Two on the other side. Taking that left leg up and high. Inhale. Stepping it through between the hands as you exhale. Spinning the right heel down to the mat. Pressing into the floor. And inhale, coming all the way up. Coming into Warrior Two. Reaching away through both hands. Taking up lots of room, lots of space. Finding your breath. So coming into that flow as we inhale, reaching up and back into our Reverse Warrior. And keep circling the top arm all the way down and forwards into that extended side angle. So elbow to the top of the thigh, circle the right arm forwards and all the way up and over. And as it comes over, let it bring you back up. So inhaling, reaching back, exhaling, circling forward. Really reaching out into the space around you. Those words again, expansion, freedom and joy. So have you got a smile on your face? If you haven't, see if you can get one, even if it's just a little one. I've got a smile on my face because I'm practicing with some people that I haven't practiced with for a while. Good. Okay, coming all the way up on this last one. We're going to interlace the hands behind, roll the shoulders open, lift the heart. Turning towards that front thigh, coming down just on the inside into Humble Warrior. Little softness in the elbows, breathe here. And then releasing the hands down. We're going to bring them forwards onto the floor, coming up forwards at a diagonal, reaching the fingertips to the floor, little tented hands as you come down, and breathe. Lifting the heart, walking the hands back in, turning to frame that front foot with your hands, swiveling the back heel up, and take the front foot and stretch it up and back into three-legged dog. Lovely. Lowering that leg. Take an inhale. As you exhale, come into Child's Pose. So knees go wide, toes towards one another. Stretch the hands away from you. Bring the forehead down to the mat. And we're going to just keep that movement going a little bit in child's pose. So a little rock across the forehead, and let that movement come into the hips as well. So you're just going gently side to side with your weight as you rock across the forehead. And massaging across the centre of the brow, or pressure on the centre of the brow, is very calming for our nervous system, very relaxing, and also just helping us remember to smooth and soften the brow, just getting rid of those frown lines. Okay, coming back to stillness, walking the hands slowly in. And we're going to come around to sit on our bottom. So you can do that however you want. Come over to one hip and bring the feet around in front. Let's take the legs out wider, so a little wider than hip distance. Try and fit them in the screen. Okay, and sit up nice and tall. Press away through the heels. Bring the fingertips to the floor, out to the side. Grow through the crown of the head. And we're going to inhale, taking that left arm up and over into a side bend. Exhale here. And then keep moving. We're going to reach forwards and circle the arms from foot to foot. Landing that left hand at the side and coming into a side bend on the other side. Coming all the way up. Inhale. And then exhale to reverse. So coming around, circling forwards, all the way over to the side, and inhale as you come up. So just get this movement going in your body and let it be nice and free and fluid and joyful, smiling, just going to a place that feels really nice for you. That lovely freedom in the spine, freedom in the shoulders. Taking a few more. Finding a breath that really feels nice. Good. And coming all the way back up to centre. I'm going to bring the right foot into the thigh. Keep that left leg extending away. Place the right hand behind you onto the floor. And I'm going to circle that left hand all the way around, and as it comes around, push into the right hand, lift the hips high and reach back, up and open. So push the hips up to the sky, lift the heart. As you come back down, you're going to sit the bottom back down, circle the hands back and fold towards that front leg, keeping a little softness in the knee and the toes up, just into a sort of Janu Shirasana pose variation. So inhale, circling the arm overhead, reaching up, lifting the chest, opening, and then exhale, lowering the hips, folding towards that front leg. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to come all the way back up, sit tall, and swap sides, sending the right leg out, left leg in. So left hand behind you, circling around as you inhale. Press the hips up, lift the heart open, and exhale to sit down and fold. Little bend in that knee. Inhale. I love this movement as well. I find it really freeing in the body. So really freeing in the front of the hips, really freeing in the back of the hamstrings. Just moving in a way that feels nice in your body. Really moving into the space around you. One more. Okay. Lovely, rolling up through the spine to sit tall. Okay, we're going to come onto our backs. So, holding onto the back of your legs, your thighs, as you just gently roll down. We're nearly at the end of our practice now, so we're just going to come back onto our backs. Lengthening through the back of the neck, bringing the knees into the chest, hugging them in towards you, and taking a little movement here rocking across the low back, side to side. Massaging that low back into the floor, freeing up any tension, any stuck feelings in and around that lower back. And you can just move in an intuitive way. So if it feels better for you to take the knees a little away from you and get the rocking to happen a little lower down the pelvis, then do that. Or if the knees are closer, then you'll feel it more into the lumbar spine. So just finding where feels good. That little sway, that little motion. Good. Letting that come to the center and the feet come back to the floor. Taking the arms out wide into a T shape, backs of the hands to the floor. And then squeezing the legs a little bit together. We're going to rock the knees from side to side. So I want you to keep the ankles and the knees really close so that the movement is happening more up in our back. So the twisting is coming more into the spine. So inhale, center, and exhale the knees over, and maybe start to turn the head away. Just moving here, finding freedom in the back. Feeling expansion across the chest. Letting the corners of your mouth turn up into a smile. Moving with your breath. Just take a few more. And then when you've done about even on both sides, come back into the center. Step your feet hip distance wide, bring your hands to your belly. Let your knees knock in towards one another. Bring your head into the center. And we're just going to take a little pause here in constructive rest to finish our practice. So take a nice long deep breath in through the nose. Let it go with a big sigh through the mouth. And feel your body softening and releasing. Just take a moment to spread out the toes and feel the connection of your feet to the mat. Down into the earth beneath. Feel the connection of the back of your pelvis, the lower back, where it connects down into the mat. See if you can drop a little of your weight and relax through the pelvis, through the hips. Feel the connection across the upper back and shoulders, into the arms. See if you can sink the body weight down a little deeper. And then the back of the head as it rests on the mat. Letting the weight of the head release and settle. And another word that I think is really important at the moment in these times of isolation is connection. So by taking part in this class, you're connecting to me, but also each other. So as we lay here in this pose, just seeing if you can imagine all the other yogis practicing with you right now. Maybe in this class, but also in other classes, in other places across the world, other people coming into their own connection with themselves, with each other. Even though we sometimes feel alone, we never really are. So let's take another deep breath in together and hold it at the top. Really fill up from your belly to your ribs to your chest. And then let that go at one with a great big sigh. Good. We're going to slowly bring ourselves over to one side. Rolling over, using your hands to help press you up. And coming into a crossed leg seated position. Bringing your right hand to your heart center and your left hand to your belly, just as we started the class. Let the eyes close. come back to the little 3-word mantra that we established at the beginning. So, freedom, expansion, joy. And let's add connection. And just seeing if you can notice as you go through your weekend and next week, a little bit about the language that you're focusing on. So be it the stuff you're reading or watching, or maybe even the way you're talking to yourself about how your body feels or about how you feel about the current situation. See if you can make an intention now to notice the language and see if you can shift it to something that's going to feel better for your body and your nervous system. Okay, bringing the palms to touch, thumbs to the heart center. Take an inhale. Final sigh as you exhale. And bow your head. Namaste. Who have I got? Oh, Michelle, Penelope, hi, Rachel. I've got loads of people. Hello, everyone. I'm really glad some people turned up. Finn, hi, Finn. Oh, John, hi, love. Chris, oh, hi, Chris. How are you? You okay? I miss you. Rob, hi, Ross. Hi, Ross. Marion, Lydia. Oh, that's so great. I'm so pleased you all showed up. I hope that was okay. It wasn't that easy. It was kind of like a little bit more of the kind of thing that I like doing. So yeah, I hope that was okay. And I hope you may manage to modify the practice a bit and stay with me if it was a little bit out of your comfort zone. Thank you, Helen. Yeah, words are really powerful, aren't they? Really, really powerful. So we've got to tell ourselves the right things. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try and do them every Friday. So yeah, join me next week and have a lovely weekend. Thanks, Helen. Oh, thanks, Helen. Yeah, lovely. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.